Well, I would have to say the double the songs for the double the stuff.
Double the stuff. Whoa, that counted down quick.
That was fast.
Right? Glad that wasn't just me.
It's just everywhere.
Dude, I'm freaking living in a different time period or something.
Did you watch that building collapse? We are living in a different time period.
Dude.
Crap was wild, man.
It was.
I honestly have no clue what you're talking about, but it sounds cool.
The rubble of that building.
Dude, like, I guess...
I don't know what the...
Like, there's an actual video of it collapsing. There's surveillance footage, and it's wild. It's wild.
Can I see that right now and react to it?
Yeah, it happened in Miami this morning at like 7 a.m. There's still like 99 people missing.
That's probably not anything. Yeah, we're not gonna.
Yeah, it's not podcast stuff.
Not at all.
Well,
I'll just
alt tab here, guys.
There you go.
We are the Marauders. We're here every Thursday, 7:30. Most of us. I'm glad we all showed up tonight.
Oh, here it is.
Okay.
It is about time the Joker joins us. I totally agree with you. Jiroki?
Jiroki the Lesser Loki.
Jiroki?
The Lesser Loki. Jiroki the Lesser Loki. Come on.
It's a mouthful.
It's not that hard.
It's a mouthful.
It's supposed to be.
Double stuff.
You kids keep dreaming.
Anyway, introduce yourselves. Start in the corner down here with the Joker.
Dude, I'm watching this video. Dude, I'm sorry.
Serious, man. Seriously.
What? Okay, well...
That's Joker.
Yeah, that's Joker.
Okay, hey,
Joker's
guys.
the one not talking.
He's new to the podcast.
Hey, sorry your truth detector has been not here lately, but I'm here for this one-time appearance. Here to spread the word of the truth, the real
Special
word.
Guest star.
Sanctity.
It's funny that I put Kathleen Kennedy on the list of stuff, and magically Joey shows up.
Is she on the list?
She is on the list.
I haven't even looked at the list. But,
I haven't either.
Oh, hey, anytime we
believe you.
Anytime we can not talk
there's only
about
one thing I'm interested in tonight, and that's the hashtag.
Yeah,
I'm going to save that.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that. I have opinions on this. I'm here. That should have been my name tonight. Actually, let me fix that. I'm here. Okay, so welcome. I'm here. Didn't think it was going to happen, but I pulled a miracle.
What's up, y'all? This is the Ace-Quisitor. And how I do it. Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me. Let's get it.
It's not as bad as Jiroki, but that's not your best.
What's not my best?
Nothing.
Ace-Quisitor?
Nothing.
He's making fun of your name.
As opposed to you,
coming from the guy who says I'm here.
Shane, I couldn't think of anything today. I know
I'm
every week.
I'm here.
I'm just Shane. Ace-Quisitor in the building.
I don't need fancy names.
Just change it to double stuff.
I don't need fancy names.
Double stuff. All kinds.
And I am Jiroki, the Lesser Loki.
Hey.
And you can make fun of my name all you want to.
I miss you,
Shane.
I missed you too, Joker. Deeply. Just so much. So good to have you back on this.
Because the last time I was on, you were not here too.
Oh, was that when I was having the floor issues?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, on to our sponsor, Sonic.
Sonic.
I got my Sonic. It's in a different cup though.
That's not Sonic. I don't believe you.
Sonic.
So
thank you, Sonic. My mango peach cream slush.
What the hell do you come up with these things?
Could you just drink normal drinks?
Like they used to have the orange cream, like it tastes like the dreamsicle.
Okay.
They don't have orange anymore, so I did mango and peach. And listen, I like to explore and do things. I'm like Batman, you know what I'm saying? I like to explore.
I mean, that's not really exploring. Like isn't that pretty basic nowadays?
It's not pretty basic because you got to learn how to spell. You got to do figure eights. There's a whole bunch of stuff you got to do, brother. So that's not basic.
I'm just saying,
And if you just speak
Bruce
basic,
Wayne-
I can see why.
Bruce, no, I'm saying that should be part of the normal repertoire. Like, that's not anything advanced, okay? You're not breaking new ground if that's, the highlight of your exploring. So, okay? I'm bringing truth tonight. Let's do it.
We'll see. We'll see.
Let's do it. Where's the hashtag? What's the hashtag?
Not yet.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
yet.
no, I'm not saying it. I'm just saying the hashtag one's going to be a fun conversation.
I think so too. Double stuff.
Hashtag. Let me find this. What's
Okay,
You just
so
keep dreaming. Dreaming.
I really like the strawberry limeades. What I always hate about them though is they're all mashed up, and so you're always like sucking the little seeds separate of everything else. Anybody got that? I hate it. That's the only thing I don't like about it.
When are they having half price split blasts again?
I don't know. Ask Sonic.
I'm gonna need you. I'm gonna need you to email our rep and be
tell
like,
us.
"Hey, this is the Marauders. We need to know when. We need to know when we're getting half price blast again because I need another one."
Or
But isn't it
99-cent mots.
Isn't it after 8:00? You always get that.
No, my wife looked at shakes.
Okay.
Blasts aren't included. Can
Yeah,
we start a
the ma-
petition?
Let's start our own hashtag.
Let's start a petition. I feel like blast should be included with shakes. It's the
Do they
same
have
thing.
They have a double stuff shake?
I mean, you can double stuff anything you want to stuff, Joker. You just got to put in a little effort.
Man,
Thank you, Sonic.
Thank you, Sonic.
Use the app.
Oh, it's gonna be a good night, boys.
Okay.
It's gonna be a good night.
I'm already sweating.
And they
Oh
probably
my
dropped
God.
us right there.
Right.
That was it.
Maybe it's not a good thing I made it.
Put that on the menu.
It would sell.
Stuff anything.
It would sell.
Okay. So let's just go ahead and go with it.
No.
With the hashtag?
Save this for the end of the night. Save it for the end of the night.
You think? Okay, well,
They have to sit
we're
through,
already,
they have
we're
to
already
sit through
kind
all
of
the
there.
double
That's what we're
stuff
doing.
jokes. They got to sit through all those double stuff jokes to get it. All right.
Okay. So first thing, the new Shazam pick, and I am going to pull that up for us to look at.
Yeah.
And everybody saw this, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so mad Shane used my joke and got all the credit for it.
Hey, bro. I mean, look at that picture. Look at that picture.
100%.
100%. It is literally the exact same thing.
Yo, for real in real life, did they replace Megan Good?
They did.
She does not
Yeah.
look the same. They
Yep.
replaced her?
They
Yeah,
replaced her.
they
It's a
did.
different chick.
Yep.
Why are they all wearing the exact same suit?
No. Go to Megan Good.
No,
Oh,
they
is that-
did.
Yeah, that's her.
This is the one they replaced.
Yeah,
I thought her
that's
name was
wrong.
Megan.
No,
I don't think they replaced her.
She looks different. She does not look the same.
I just know they replaced that one chick.
Okay, her face. What happened to her face?
It's
Probably
yeah,
plastic
it's some
surgery,
weird.
I'm just going to say what we're all thinking. I thought they canceled Jupiter's Legacy.
Right.
I mean,
Like
they
this-
don't have pointy crotch.
I mean,
it
that's all
seems-
they're missing. Are the exact same costumes, and they don't look good.
Yeah.
Well, I actually will say these look a whole lot better than season 1. I mean, episode the first one.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. The
They just
first
look
one,
super
the first
generic to
one,
me.
they all look like somebody took some plastic, stuck it underneath the suit, and just laid it on top of them,
Yeah, now
like
everybody
like
looks
Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah, everybody looks ripped. Like they look very tailor made. Very, very form fitting.
Yeah, it
I'm
looks
not digging
way. I think it looks
What
way better.
So here's
but
what was y'all's thought of the first Shazam?
I watched half of it.
it was okay. Yeah,
Right there, everything
was
you guys
okay.
just said. That's what I think about what's about to happen. I don't know. It's okay. Sure.
Well, it's just one of those things. It doesn't have great rewatch value. I wouldn't rewatch it.
yeah.
I mean,
Totally.
if you're into it, then I'm happy you get to see what they're going to look like. But this doesn't make me want to watch a show or the movie.
Yeah, but Shazam is supposed to be like, I mean, it's like a Superman style thing, and with Black Adam,
Are we getting like desensitized to people in costumes?
I mean, this is pretty generic. Like,
I don't think. Well, I mean, when I looked at Jupiter's Legacy, I was just like, no, this ain't gonna be it.
yeah.
'Cause I'm
Jupiter's
saying-
Legacy was really disappointing.
I'm waiting for the boys.
I can't wait for the boys.
Yeah, that's totally. I don't even put those on the same level.
Like, I read
honestly.
something that said the first scene of this season they're going to do something they've never done. Like, I'm so down.
Didn't they
so
say it was
down.
like more blood than ever?
Something like that. Yeah,
And
they should have.
they're hitting some of the main storyline that's pretty more risque than what we've seen so far.
Dude,
Yeah.
that show does some of the craziest stuff.
Bet you
Like,
they ain't gonna have no issues like Batman them is having. They ain't gonna have none of them issues.
No,
no,
Batcat.
there's no reps telling them not to put that in there.
Be a lot of cat eating in that show.
There's no struggle that with Homelander, right?
Nope.
So, although, never mind. We're not even going to go there. Homelander's got some issues. If you haven't watched the show, Homelander has some issues.
He had some issues.
Some severe issues.
The way
What
he
he
was
did
raised. Is what
His
got
weird
him
mother
there.
character, like, man, that cat's got some problems.
I mean, that was a great show, though. I mean, there was a lot of. I think it's went the direction that we all kind of want our rated R superheroes and stuff to go. We want it to go that way. A little more blood, a little more sex and stuff. I mean,
It's like Invincible in live action.
Exactly.
basically, yeah.
Which, I mean, I would take a live action Invincible. Although I love the cartoon, Invincible would kill it as live action.
I'm cool where it's at because I
But
think
yeah, I'm not saying we need it, but I could have watched it in live action. They could have made that.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like I said, I think the boys is such that line of what that is that I don't need it. That's just my opinion.
Is Invincible the same
I
one
think
as the
it
boys?
would have almost been the same show. To
I
some
know-
extent.
And the thing is like I know we're getting closer to live action. Like, okay, here's the deal. I know that we can recreate anything in live action and make it look good, like in a cartoon, right? I know we can do it. There's still a cost analysis there. So, still with cartoons, there's still an anime and some of this other stuff. People have these great stories they want to tell. They just don't have the budget to do them. And so you get it in a cartoon form, and you still get the really good story. So, I've actually been on a little bit of anime kick lately here, watching some. Been pretty awesome, just good stories.
Yeah.
They know how to do it a lot better in the manga stuff than in the American comics right now. Anyways, they're if you go look at just the sales, manga is just demolishing American comics right now.
Well, it's all the rage. And then they tie in all these great shows.
Well, and they do things like they have in China. They have these, or over they have these in Japan. They have these things where they allow all these writers to submit, and they can people actually have a chance to get new stories out there, and that's why they have so much good content.
Yeah, they're not rehashing the same characters. And just
Yeah,
love it.
I mean, that's what we like about The Boys and Invincible.
Which, to admit, I haven't watched The Boys yet. It's on my list.
You have not watched The Boys yet?
I knew I was going to say that. That's why I didn't want to say it. Look at him on the face.
How?
I know. I have no doubt.
It's the same look I got when I said I just watched all the John Wicks like a month ago.
Because look, I know it's good. Everybody I listen to, I get it, and I'm going to.
What are you doing with your time, Joker? Like what are you doing with your time?
Going down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories.
I'm playing. Apparently, I'm watching anime. So
okay, no more anime until you watch The Boys. It's 2 seasons. Do it in one night, and call me tomorrow.
I can't.
As soon as we get off the podcast, get started.
Just at least watch the first episode of the first season.
I'm going to watch it, guys.
I don't believe you.
We
I
appreciate
don't
you.
believe you.
I will.
We had to kidnap him.
Did I? Ahmad, you were the one that told me about Invincible.
Yeah.
And I immediately went and watched it, and I loved it. It was great. Right?
You're gonna love The Boys.
And I asked y'all about Jupiter's Legacy. What'd you say? Yeah. And I go, okay, I'm not gonna watch it. So why would I stop listening to y'all now?
You saved yourself 8 hours of pain. Okay, I want you to know that.
Yes, of course I did. Sometimes it's good to not be an early adopter. Sometimes.
So do you feel like that Ace redeemed himself with episode 8?
What?
Episode 8.
See, listen, let's clear this up. Joey, after watching episode 8, initially liked it, and then once he rewatched it and then thought about it.
Oh, we're talking about
then
Star
he
Wars.
didn't like it.
Oh, we're on
So-
Star Wars. Oh, this is great. Good.
I'm the one that stayed with episode 8, and then
Yeah, I
Shane
was-
never liked it. So
I was
I was just saying,
disappointed.
did Ace redeem himself with Invincible?
with the recommendation,
The recommendation. Do you trust him now?
Oh, I've always trusted Ace.
Yeah, he's
I
just
agree.
wrong on. He's just wrong on 8.
Yeah, I trust him,
We all
but
can't
I'm
be
also
right
not
all
afraid
the
to
time.
disagree with him.
Yeah.
And it's fun. But I
Yeah.
trust him.
Okay, so since we're kind of here, let's go ahead and talk about. So James Gunn had actually talked into both sides of Marvel and DC.
He talked into
And-
both of them.
He talked with both of them. He talked into both of them. We're going to get to inside. We'll talk about that in a minute. So James Gunn talked to both of them, and he's been trying to get them to actually do something together. What would that mean to you guys if you could see those two actually meet up in movies and TV?
Marvel and DC.
Yeah. How would you feel about that?
I like it being two separate worlds.
Yes, it's not necessary. It's,
I just think
There's
there's
still so much to explore just in Marvel that I don't. So like the comics got to a place where it was like they've explored so many things. They did these crossovers because it was like, hey, we just need both of us need boosts, and so they did these Marvel DC crossovers in the comics. But
I will say, go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
but all I got to say is it would be a bad move for Marvel and a great move for DC. DC is not looking good. Why in the world would Kevin Feige want to attach himself to anything they're doing? They're a mess right now. They're a mess. Until they prove me wrong, they're a mess. So there's no reason that Kevin Feige is going to attach himself to any of that stuff until it gets better over there. Sony at least kind of has proven themselves. I mean, he has the relationships over there, and so they'll work with Sony to do that stuff. And they need those characters.
Now, I will say, the only thing, if they were going to do any type of crossover, the only thing that I would want if they were going to do a crossover would be an Iron Man and Batman crossover. Because of their two techs, Robert Downey Jr. is dead in the MCU, so it's not like it would affect anything. Or if they were going to do a Justice League and Suicide Squad mashup. So if those two did it, then I'd be fine. But just like the Justice League and the Avengers, no. But Batman and Iron Man.
For a second, you said Justice League and Suicide Squad, and I was like,
No, Justice League and Avengers.
Avengers got you.
If those two mashed up, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But if it was like Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad, that would be cool.
what is our obsession with mashing things that don't need to go together? Like
Oh no,
Aliens versus Predators, Batman versus Superman.
I got
like,
it. I got something we should put together, Ahmad. Jodeci and Coldplay be great. That's just a joke for Ahmad. Never mind.
I mean, Jay-Z and what's his name did the mashup. It worked
I
out.
know. Well,
I just
Aerosmith and Run DMC.
look. I just it doesn't feel necessary to me. It feels kind of like I'll steal what the Inquisitor up there or the Ace-Quisitor up there said. It feels to me like it would be better for DC than it would be for Marvel. Like it doesn't feel necessary. It feels to me it feels like a gimmick, and I don't think that Marvel needs a gimmick right now. Marvel is killing it. All their movies are doing good. You know, maybe a few, but yeah, it's pointless. They're crushing it on Disney Plus. Why would they want to bring in DC characters? And then, I mean, would the story even make sense? Like, how do you flesh that out? Who's writing it? Because if DC's writing it, there goes Marvel. Like, it's just the only character I would care to see is Wonder Woman, and that's just because I like Wonder Woman. But it doesn't fit. Like, don't bring her over. Keep her in her own movies. No, it's a terrible idea. I hate it.
Or bring the actress over and give her one of those
dude, I'll
characters.
watch anything she's in. So,
That's
look,
a different story.
it just feels
swap
unnecessary.
stuff all the time.
It feels very unnecessary.
Well, it's not going to happen. They've already said no.
No.
But the point is,
I hope it was a short meeting.
James Gunn do what?
I hope it was a short meeting. I hope he walked in there and was like, "Hey, Marvel, what do you think?" And they're like, "See ya, bro. Just don't entertain those stupid ideas. Don't do it."
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that'll be the case because he's working on their films right now.
Yeah, which one is he doing?
I'm sure they toyed. The Last Guardians.
Guardians 3.
And we're waiting on Suicide Squad. So he's running both sides. That's why he asked. He was trying to get them to do that.
Isn't he in charge of the John Cena spinoff too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Is he actually going to direct it, or is he just writing
character?
The Peacemaker or something like that.
Peacemaker. That's it. Yep.
It is the best costume. Like, it is the best costume.
His main line is why I even want to watch the movie, honestly.
Yeah. You don't have Batman issues either. He's talking about that all the time.
He can double stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so since we're double stuffing right now, let's go ahead and throw that hashtag out there, which is let the bat eat the cat.
Yeah.
Who wants to explain this one?
So
go ahead, Shane. Give
right.
it.
I'm gonna try and make this as Facebook friendly as possible. But from what I'm understanding is in the new season of Harley Quinn, there was a scene where the Batman went down on the Catwoman. So I guess they made the scene for Harley Quinn, and then the DC.
What does that mean? Sorry.
Performing oral sex on Catwoman.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yes, performed oral sex on Catwoman. And then I guess the DC. Who was it? Ace Quisitor. Who came back? Was it just the DC in general?
Just the execs.
Yeah. So superheroes don't do that. So they made them cut the scene out of season 3 because superheroes don't do that.
See, if they would have stayed with the first excuse. The first excuse was like, listen, we're trying to sell toys. So as a hero,
that would be a new
trying to sell toys. So if they just left it there, fine. But they said, nope, we can't sell merchandise if Batman is going down on Catwoman. So
who's gonna be like, no, Jimmy,
I'm
you
just
can't
thinking
have
of like
Batman because he performed oral sex on Catwoman.
Right.
Like,
I know when I buy my pop toys, I'm like, did you go down?
Did you go down on this character? Like, I'm not buying you if you went down on that character.
So I'm just thinking about the old toys we used to have, the like Kung Fu action grip and
Yes,
stuff.
that's what. Now with cat eating powers.
Yeah, it's definitely a misstep, bro. First of all, Harley Quinn is an adult show. So if you let your kids watch Harley Quinn, they going down the wrong path anyway.
They got bigger issues.
Right. There's a lot more other things in Harley Quinn that's happening than somebody going down. That would have been very mild. Nobody would even have thought anything of it. Right. The fact that they made it an issue, now people want to see it.
Well, yeah, and maybe they're doing it to stir up controversy because it definitely worked. Like, obviously, it got a hashtag and like it stirred people up. But like, how out of touch are the execs? I mean, have they watched the show? Because I mean,
I doubt
she's
normally.
bisexual anyway because she's with Harley Quinn. So we're not going to get into mechanics, but come on, like, I don't know. It just seems really out of touch to me, and it just seems like something they're either doing it to stir up controversy, or we got a lot of old executives in the DC board, and they just don't understand reality. So,
yeah, complete misstep. This show is incredible.
Oh, it's so good.
It got a big push with Zack Snyder, though. That's probably what lit the fuse. It was out there, but that's
Didn't he
he's
say
in,
something
he's in
about
the light
canon?
right now. Yeah, he just said canon, and he showed the picture. He didn't say anything else, and it just like
That's
blew
what it was
up.
he said.
Yeah,
Dude, he is so good. He is so good.
He is stirring up crap everywhere right now.
Brilliant. I mean, if they're just trying to build up stuff for season 3, I mean, it gets it out there and lets people know. But if they did make them cut it, if they don't sneak it back in there, then to me it's a huge miss. Because like Ace Quisitor said, it's a very adult show. Like, from the very first time I watched it, I had no idea what I was getting into. I just went off Ace's recommendation. And from the very first episode, I was like, okay, this is not for children. Like, right out of the gate, it is not for children. And it is so well done. Like, it's an adult cartoon. Think like Rick and Morty, but different. So it's set for adults. It's not for kids, but it's so well done. It's so well written. The characters are fantastic. Shark. The whole reason I'm excited to see the next the next
Suicide Squad.
thank you,
Yeah.
Suicide Squad. So, but it's a misstep. I mean, it's a misstep. What a stupid thing to make controversy over.
What'd you think of Army of the Dead?
It was. I would have enjoyed
liked it
more in theater, but it was cool. I was entertained.
It's just an interesting take on the start of the zombie apocalypse.
I don't know. It felt like they were like writing it as they went along. Like the story just kind of.
It's a zombie Ocean's 11. Like it's not changing.
Basically.
You know.
It fit way better than I thought it was going to with the whole zombie and trying to get the money. Because I thought it was going to be like super super campy style, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
And they had a different take on a horror film too, because typically the black guy always dies first. This time he died last, and it took way longer for him to get.
I mean, did he ever technically die?
Well,
He didn't. He started to turn.
They made the black guy end up carrying it to the next place.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. Like it's not something I'd watch again, but I would watch another one if they make it. And
I can guarantee you, for those that ain't seen Army of the Dead, I can guarantee you he had no problem eating them 3 waitresses on the plane. If you know how the story ends, then you know what I'm talking about. He's a zombie.
I'm not going to be the one that starts that hashtag.
We'll let Ace start that one.
That was
Anyway,
anyways, back on.
Let the bat do his thing. Let the bat do his thing.
Let the bat do it.
Oh yeah, I know what I was gonna say. So the Harley Quinn, like the cartoon that you guys have been watching, I watched I think the first couple episodes. If Harley Quinn the movie had been like that, it would have been a totally different movie, and it would have been interesting.
Yep.
I didn't find it interesting at all.
You talking about the emancipation?
Of Harley Quinn
or
whatever it was
like
called.
She was being like before I saw the cartoon. I loved her character, but then in the emancipation of Harley Quinn, it felt like she was a caricature of the cartoon version of Harley Quinn.
Yep.
Because it was like
it seemed like the wrong direction. Yeah,
right.
Totally. I could see that.
I don't know that DC is brave enough to give us a movie like what we get with the cartoon. I don't know if they're brave enough to put that on film.
Well,
even if you cut that even down by a quarter, it still is interesting though. I didn't find the other one interesting at all.
I would watch it. I didn't go see Harley Quinn in theaters. I watched it when it came to Blu-ray. But I mean, I would go to theaters if it was if it had that feel to it, because Harley Quinn is that good. Like if it was a movie, I would watch it 100%, especially with that character, because I think she did such a good job the first time she portrayed Harley Quinn. I like her.
Yeah, I did like the first one.
Did you see Titans?
Which one?
Titans, the TV show.
I've never watched any of that.
No.
Oh my gosh! If y'all like The Boys and all of that, you got to watch Titans.
Okay, what is it on? Is it like a?
It's on HBO Max or whatever, but it's really good.
And it's just Titans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Robin is kind of like the lead.
Okay, so like Teen Titans, is it that kind of thing?
It's Teen Titans, but it's not. It's the adult version of Titans.
Okay.
So,
all right. I'll get it.
I did see the preview for the season 3. Is it on 3 now? One of the seasons that's about to start with the Jason Todd Red Hood about to be added in. So I mean that kind of interested me when I saw that, but I hadn't watched any of it, so I didn't know if it was going to be good or not.
So second season was good, but they did not spend a lot of time in their costumes, and that's the only bad part that I didn't like. First season was good up until like the last 3 episodes. It got kind of weird, and they had to fix it in the beginning of season 2. So if you can just get through the first 2 seasons, I think you'll enjoy it enough to where you'll be interested in season 3.
Okay.
But it's very adult themed.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Okay, well, on to The Witcher. I know that we're all excited about The Witcher.
Yes.
So excited for The Witcher.
Yeah, so I saw that Ace had posted the picture to all of us, so I want you to kind of hit some of that, because I didn't see it until then.
It didn't have like a trailer or anything. It just basically said it's coming soon. So just like a quick little teaser.
The trailer's
Don't we have-
supposed to drop in July because
Don't
they
we have a
have.
Witcher Fest coming?
Yeah,
Witcher
Is it-
Con?
I thought it's like CD Projekt Red thing, right, or something like that. Okay.
I thought it was covering all things
they're
Witcher.
Well, maybe that's what it is, but I just know
I
that
don't know.
in July is when it's happening at that whatever that festival or fest is. They're going to release the trailer.
Witchfest.
It's a Witcher Fest or CD Projekt Red or something.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
just
you're
happy
right. I
that
think it
we
is
saw-
Witcher.
I'm just happy
Good.
we saw Henry Cavill because they
Yeah.
were talking about the next season was going to be the prequel, and that he
Mhm.
wasn't going to be in it. So
Well, it's going along with the book. So this is the second book. So it's going to have a lot more with Ciri and stuff. But he's the Witcher. He's the main character there.
He's
Yeah.
the Witcher.
Now they are saying though in the games going forward, the talk is that the next big AAA game they do is going to be around Ciri, and she's kind of basically a Witcher. So that's kind of how they
Well,
carry.
If you get the good ending, what everybody considers the good ending of The Witcher, then she becomes a Witcher. So
right, and that's just story wise. They're saying the next one's gonna follow Ciri's story through, because I mean,
they
yeah,
closed out Geralt basically.
basically, yeah.
Which I mean, I'm down for it. I like Ciri's character. I mean, as
Yeah.
long as it has the Witcher feel to it, I mean, I'm fine with
Right.
that. I like Ciri.
You don't
they've
want it
done
to have the cyberpunk feel with bugs.
I mean, look, I played it on PC.
He
and
calls
I didn't have any
his
issues.
horse, and his
Yeah.
horse slaps him in the face, and it goes across the map.
I mean, The Witcher had bugs, not anywhere near the degree. Look, I think CD Projekt Red, and this is just my personal opinion, I think they could have survived bugs. The problem
Yeah.
with it was that they released it on the two biggest consoles, the PlayStation and the Xbox, and it was unplayable. And it wasn't just bugs; it was graphically like if you watch some of the videos, the characters aren't even rendered; they're just blocks. So I mean, they released an unfinished game, but now PC was a great game. I mean, it had some bugs, but like you look at Skyrim, you look at any Fallout game, all those big games like that have tons of bugs, and they have to hunt them down. I think they could have survived bugs, but you can't release an unfinished game like that, especially not from a studio like CD Projekt Red.
Yeah,
So no, Witcher 4 needs time, and I think they learned their lesson.
yeah. It's not anytime soon. We're not getting it anytime soon.
I mean, it's gonna be 8 years.
Yeah, they're in early development of it. So
Early.
I did listen to all the Witcher books though, so I'm really curious if The Witcher is going to follow exactly along the books, or if they're going to tweak some stuff. I'm curious to see how they do it.
yeah, I'm curious to see that. I hope they kind of stick with the books.
Have you read the books?
I haven't, but I know what happens. I haven't
Okay.
read the books. So.
I'm really curious about how the
You
series
read the
will
Reddit
wrap up.
version.
Tells you
I
the
mean,
only books I read.
no-
Wheel of Time, which, by the way, Wheel of Time news, guys. Amazon has already renewed the second season of it, and it hadn't even released the first season.
Dude,
So
they got-
the
they've already
thing
spent
is,
money.
well, the thing is that tells us the execs saw it and they like what they're seeing, and so they have enough confidence to go ahead and do a second season. So, yay for that. The lady that's doing it had some. I think she had some ties with Game of Thrones and stuff. So, it sounds promising. I'm hoping. I mean, because it could possibly be one of the best. I mean, it has the ability to be the best.
Amazon
we'll
has
see.
two of the biggest shows with Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time, like two
But
of the
they're
biggest fantasy series of
I
all
know,
time.
but they're not doing great with Lord of the Rings right now.
Lord of the Rings is. Which do you think comes out first? Do we see Wheel of Time before we see Lord of the Rings with all the problems? they're
Yes,
having?
we'll see Wheel of Time before Lord of the Rings. Yep. Because you just all I hear is about a bunch of messes going on with
Lord of the Rings is a wreck right now,
right now.
but they spent $1 billion, so they're going to have to get it right.
They're going to have to, yeah. But Wheel of Time, man, ugh, guys, I hope it would make my heart happy.
I mean,
So
there's
give
enough
me-
content in those books.
Yeah, I
Through 10
mean,
seasons.
even if they did, that's the deal. Is like even if they did one season as a book, there's 13 books,
Yeah.
and even if they did one, there's just still so much story.
So much.
They're
stuff.
not, they would just be having to skip through tons of it, tons of like you thought Lord of the Rings or you thought Game of Thrones had a lot of characters. Doesn't hold a candle to Wheel of Time.
Right.
Doesn't hold a candle.
So what is Wheel of Time? Because I have no idea.
So the concept is like time is a wheel, and it's constantly kind of repeating. And the whole premise of the book is you have a hero, and he's kind of thrust into this role. He doesn't want to be the hero, but he has to be. He's the wheel of time. It weaves the way it wants to weave, and so he's kind of forced into this role that he doesn't want to do. And you kind of see him take the mantle of that and kind of move through it. But there's lots of other characters, lots of other side things going on that all interconnect like Game of Thrones. I mean, it's been, I mean, when the first book was it early 80s or early 90s, or like late 80s or early 90s is when the first Robert Jordan wrote the first book. I mean, it's been around for a long time.
It's considered one of the best fantasy series ever.
If you type in Google best fantasy books, you're going to see Harry Potter, you're going to see Lord of the Rings, you're going to see Wheel of Time, you're going to see Game of Thrones probably now too. But like those are considered like some of the best. So
it's going to be
excited.
They're a long,
see it then.
very very long read, but I'm not a big reader, but they're phenomenal. They're incredible.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the new stuff, let's talk about HeMan. We talked about HeMan last week because the trailer. Ace sent us some of the stuff with Kevin Smith, which, first of all, I've already said to the guys, it's like all the stuff we've talked about, having somebody that actually loves the story already, wants to make it go on, and he's developing it. That's all I'm going to say for that. Ace, I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah.
I know this is your favorite.
It's just exciting to see that he cares about the lore, and the fact that he's like, listen, if they called and asked me to do a second season, I don't even know what I would do because I put it all out there. The story is gonna really follow Tila because she kind of still doesn't know that Prince Adam is He-Man, and so it's kind of like she finds out, but he ain't the one that told her. So I know there's gonna be some trust issues with her and her, with her dad and with the sorcerer. Like there's gonna be so much going on, and the animation has that Americanized anime style. It just looks incredible. I like the fact that they stuck to the old the newer lore, that Prince Adam was little like the first Captain America, and then he bulked up to be He-Man. So I thought that was dope. So I'm super excited, bro. July can't get here quick enough.
I'm a little disappointed that that He-Man wasn't an old man on a mountain who had given up. But what can you do? I thought that would have been creative, a good way to take the series. A good take on the series. I figured that really would have got Ace excited, New direction.
He throws Battle Cat instead of the sword.
I just, if it's a beloved character, it's nice to see someone who actually loves the character treat him well. So it's a refreshing take on a series.
I feel like you keep stabbing.
I want to see it. I want to see it first. My main concern is just, again, the same thing we see with everything that's gone on. Sorry, my voice is starting to go. But everything we've seen that's gone on with all these remakes and done is like very few people really take care of the character the way they should be. I just want to see it. I want to see that He-Man is treated the way He-Man would act, the way he is, the character that he is, the way we would know him to be. And if that happens, then I love it. Game.
How about you, Jerry?
I mean, what I saw. First of all, I really liked the fact that he took the first one and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna give you all a big clump at the beginning, and we're gonna actually, for anybody that's not, they're gonna have an understanding of who He-Man is, what's going on, how he got here." And then we're going to go on with what was it? Is it Revelation? What? I can't remember the name of the Revelation. That's right, because it's about her learning that he's his identity. Anyways, so just him talking about, I want to show what my boyhood, what I learned, what I liked, what I got to watch, and what I got to see. Wow. Okay. And so he's talking about, he was like 10 years old or whatever when it first came out, and he felt empowered because it was a thing where he went to school where he's got all this stuff that he has to wear. He can't be any different. But HeMan he got to change. He had the power, even though he was like huge to begin with and stayed huge. But it was just the power that he had, that he could do what he wanted to do. And I felt like he understood what HeMan was. And I think that's why I think we're going to be good when we go on with HeMan. That I think he's got it.
I'm excited to see it. And that's in July?
Yeah, I think like the 23rd, right?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds
and
right. Yeah.
Did they split it? Is it going to be a part 1, part 2 kind of thing?
No, it's just one season.
It's just one season,
Cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. You can't argue with a good story. If it's good, it'll be good, and nobody can argue with it. So
100%.
it's the way I feel about that G.I. Joe movie. I'm not excited about it, but if it's good, can't argue with it. Hope it is.
Okay, since you mentioned that, have you seen the whole thing where they're wanting to do Transformers, G.I. Joe, and there was one other one.
Is it Mask?
Mask, yes. And it's like this big conglomeration of all these things into a mashup movie, like cinematics, like
Here,
kind of how Marvel did, but mashing these up together.
and I feel like I'm sorry. I know I feel like a broken record and I repeat myself, but here it goes again. I just my thing with this again. If somebody has a concept for this script already, they were like, "This is a great idea. Think about this. These two meet together." But if it's literally just executives going, "We have this IP, we have this IP, and we need to make money, hire someone to write it." That's what Hollywood does, right? It's like. Yeah. They can hire anybody they want and pay them the money they want to write these things. Yeah. That doesn't make them a fan. That doesn't make them have like a good idea, because that's the problem we're missing. Like when we talked about Highlander, right? They're wanting to get this IP going, so it's like, let's get all these people on, get people energized. I'd rather have somebody who goes, "Man, I grew up on this. I have this great idea for Highlander. It's going to be amazing." That's what I want to see with even these crossovers. Like if somebody was like, "I know this sounds crazy. Follow me through, but I've been thinking about this for a long time." But you and I both know that's not what happens. You got somebody, they got their IPs, they want money, because guess what? The video game industry is demolishing the entertainment industry, and they don't know what to do. Hollywood is crumbling before our eyes. They got to pick it up.
Yeah. The thing is with Mask, not a lot of people even remember what Mask was. So you have an opportunity to introduce something that's fairly new that people could get on board for. And it's fantasy. It's, like Fast and the Furious meets Transformers. And so they don't even need to have the Transformers in it. I think that's where I was. And then same with G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe could be done well if it was taken seriously.
It's the same thing we talked about with Marvel and DC. Like, there's no point to it. Like, if it's just what they said. You got 3 different IPs, and somebody wants to try and make a cash grab at it.
Hasbro.
Yeah, didn't they do Battleship? Didn't they make the Battleship game a movie too? Like, it's just somebody that has too much time on their hands and just thinks they're going to make a ton of money.
Well,
like,
it's the same. Go ahead, Jared.
I'm going to make a confession. I did kind of like Battleship.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Honestly, it was only because of one chick.
Which one?
But here's the thing, too, is it's like, yeah, sometimes I'm entertained, right? I'm actually pretty easily entertained, and we'll get into that when we get to Loki. But the deal is I'm just so tired of this, like, rehashing, like, another Red Dawn, right? It's like, what
one?
You don't? Why would you? Well, I'm talking about the one they remade.
I was like, please
still,
not another one.
Well, who knows? They might be working on another one, but it's just like, these things work in certain eras and certain times, and we don't have to have it again. Just have a good story. It's like I think about when I saw Alita: Battle Angel, right? That was a good story.
It was.
And it's totally surprised me. I had no clue going into it. I didn't know anything. I was just like, sci-fi. I like sci-fi. I'm going to watch this. Didn't have a clue. And I watched it and I go, I just watched a really good movie. And
That
again,
wasn't me.
somebody had a concept and somebody just wrote it and they went with it. Instead of having to constantly rehash because of dollar signs, if you just make good movies, people will want to watch it. I'll tell people will, you don't have to like get the gimmick of trailer and we go, ooh, and there's explosions and Bruce Willis.
Wasn't it Valkyrie?
Valkyrie.
I like that movie, except for I
Right.
just didn't like the casting, but
Right.
the movie itself,
It was a
all
good
the
movie.
special effects was great. It
Right.
was a great
I don't,
movie.
I don't think I've seen it.
Except for
I mean,
Tom
for-
Cruise not being able to do. I mean, it's not a German accent or anything.
Yeah,
So
I
here's
definitely
what's
have seen
funny.
it. It's got Tom Cruise in it.
is
Wait,
it,
we
Do
talking
what?
about we talking about something different there.
I guess so.
so
It's
Valkyrie is the one where they make the plans to blow up Hitler.
yeah, no,
Right.
I'll find it. Go ahead.
okay. But I mean, just like look at some of the like I know in the time genre like movies, one of the best time travel movies considered all around is a movie called
Paycheck.
Primer. It's a paycheck. It's called Primer. The budget was like $15,000. It's a low budget movie. It's great. It's just a good story. It's a great story. Or look at one of the worst movies ever, The Room.
The
That's
Room?
That's a
The
bad
Room.
example. Sorry.
Yeah, it was.
I went off a little bit there. But
It's a bad example.
all that to say is just write a good story and people will watch it, man. It doesn't just, again, I get whenever I hear we're doing this IP, it's like, okay, well, did y'all dream this up like as the executives or did someone come like really wanting to write this?
It's
We
Valerian.
need, oh yeah. That one, it was okay for me, but yeah.
Which one? I didn't.
Valerian.
Yeah.
Is that the two?
Valeria.
They look like kids.
They do,
That-
yeah, and that's
that was
Okay.
that
Yeah.
was my problem. And Ahmad's right, the casting, like they were too young for these parts that they're
Right.
playing.
What they were? Yeah, some of the
And
parts
so the
they were
whole
doing
time
in
I'm
that
just sitting
one,
there
yeah.
like, okay, I don't know, but it was good. I liked it.
Okay, so let's go on to let's go on to Loki. While we have
Nice.
time still.
Right?
So, everybody watched the last episode. I think
No,
I'm
I'm
here. Do you get to watch
I'm
it?
good. Yep,
Okay,
we're good.
so I'm gonna let. This is your show. You like this show? I'm gonna go.
I'll go. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I can go. I'll go first
Joker.
or last. Okay.
Go first.
So I actually just finished watching it today, just a little bit ago. I'll say this. So in a book, right? When you say like when you talk about Harry Potter or something, right? Like what's one of the Harry Potter books? Shane.
Secret
Order of the
Secrets?
Phoenix?
What? Order of the Phoenix. You think of it as a book, right? You think of it from beginning to end. You don't necessarily think of all the chapters that you now, unless you're in a book club, which is kind of like what we're doing. It's kind of like a book club, and we're talking about each individual chapter. So I'll say this: I like the direction of Loki. This chapter has good things and bad things for me personally. Good things, the way it ends is awesome.
Yeah,
I
totally.
love scenarios where it's like, what the hell are we going to do? I don't know. It's all over, right? Great. Love the way it ended. I'm okay with all the dialogue of getting to know each other and finding out about each other because for me, that's what makes me fall more in love with the characters. It's like a book where you have these chapters. It's like, does it have to be there? No. Does it give you more context? Yes. So there were some stuff that they kind of repeated in this episode, like right at the beginning, the first scene where she's sitting there with it's kind of a repeat of what we already knew. Whatever, take it or leave it. It's fine. But there was things that I liked in it. The other things that kind of frustrated me is with the Loki. What's the girl character, Loki?
I forgot her name. Dang it.
What's her name?
I just call her Girl Loki.
I can't remember her name. She has a different name, and it's blanking me right now. She constantly through the episode would like double talk. And what I meant is like she apparently knew what happened on this planet. Then why did they go through the routine they went to get to where they got?
Well,
It seemed really weird to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
She knew what happened on the planet because she was hiding in the disaster.
I know. But it was one of those things where like, well, we need a power source. and then it was like you knew that the train, like you knew that none of them got off, but like I don't know, it just seemed like she was constantly like she knew more, and it just seemed like kind of crappy dialogue back and forth with her double talking. If you kind of watch it a second time knowing everything that's going to happen. The other thing I had a problem with is the fight scenes. Now the fighting is like, and Ahmad will understand this, but some of it felt like some WWE kind of fake stuff going on. Here, listen. Oh, okay, compare it.
By the way, it's Sylvie.
Compare those fight scenes to freaking Daredevil. It doesn't even come close. Now I realize you're talking about a different fighting style, where like Daredevil is like all kung fu and stuff, and Loki has magic and everything. But if you literally watch them do their fight, sometimes it's just like Loki's throwing people and they just go flying. And it was really funny to me that when he first got to the TVA, Loki got his A handed to him, Ahmad, on episode 2, episode 1, got his A handed to him. He couldn't fight him. Girl Loki just immediately comes in and just starts demolishing him, right? Then all of a sudden Loki can fight him now too. You know, it's just kind of funny. And then same thing with the guys on the train, right? So the guys on the train throw him out of the train, but then at the end he's just throwing them all around. And it's like, well, how hard are these guys really? I don't know. But I will say at the very end, the camera shot, the one camera shot that kind of went around as everything was happening, I loved that. I liked that cinematic feel. I thought it was really artsy and cool. But the actual like fighting was not real believable. They didn't like it, just you could see it being fake. That's what I thought.
I feel like Ace needs to go next.
Go for it.
With his face, you need to go next.
Interesting take.
I liked it.
You didn't sound like it there, buddy.
Listen, our job is to be opinionated and
Right.
say and be picky about stuff.
You're allowed to have one, even if it's wrong.
Okay, go for it.
No, of course, I respect Joey's opinion. Honestly, we know that at the start of this, I've said from day one that I was not looking forward to the Loki series. But however, this was my favorite episode for many of the same reasons that Joey said, but in a reverse point of view of it. I enjoyed the conversation. I like that we got to know both Lokis, because if we look at Loki as a character from all the other Marvel stuff, you get a Loki who's after something. So when he gets broken to his point to where now it's all about him and like he's not after power, like how he was in Ragnarok, he wasn't necessarily after power. So he was just being Tom Hiddleston as Loki. And we got a lot of that in this particular episode. I love the fight scenes, I think, because they're gods compared to these regular people. They are supposed to throw them around and do things that normal people can't do with them. I thought the action was good. And the reason why she went back to that planet, knowing the destruction was going to happen, is because they had a plan to do something before that tragic event happened. And it just didn't work out because they couldn't get along. I loved Loki singing. I loved his personality.
That was the high part of the whole episode. So
Yeah.
I thought it was the best. Yeah.
I loved his definition of love. I loved how vulnerable he was. I loved how they were both able to use their powers, but then understanding each other, because they already explained that all these other Lokis have different powers, so that they got to just get into the psyche. Well, how are you able to do this? How are you able to do that? So so why don't you consider yourself a Loki? Like just that whole, because we're only getting 6 episodes. So we spent an episode just really diving into these two characters to where you're kind of rooting for them now. And then like that one thing that they said about all of the TVA agents were variants. Like, wait, what? So
that was a huge drop.
That was
Yes.
huge, and it was just so casual.
right. So now,
Speaking of huge drop,
hey,
you got I'm here and you got I'm late.
Oh my
But-
gosh.
the other thing is, I
I
love.
should make mine. I'll wait.
Yeah, I think that.
We'll wait for you to finish.
I think that it really gave us the insight that the timekeepers aren't what they say that they are.
100%.
These three
I remember-
gods in the sky.
One of the other one,
They're taking
Ahmad,
care of
and
stuff.
again, it's not a. Again, I liked it, right? I like Loki, but when they were on the train, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not going to sleep because of blah blah blah," and then she's asleep, and it's like, okay, it's just like constantly she would say things like that, and then do the opposite, and it was like, okay,
She was
Isn't
tired.
she
She
Loki?
fell asleep.
yeah,
Like, isn't that Loki?
Very much. And then
Sleepy.
other Loki got drunk. He got.
Well,
he's
no,
like,
he like
He
says stuff and then
said
does the
smash.
opposite.
yeah, he was like, I'm not gonna get drunk, and yeah. Like, it's so Loki.
Yeah.
it's just
Okay.
funny because she said she won't fall asleep, and then she proceeds to fall asleep.
And he said,
He
"I
said,
won't get drunk."
and he got
And then
drunk.
he
I
got
know.
toasted and messed
He got
everything up.
glitter faced.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm late. Give us your synopsis.
For this last episode,
Yes.
I've missed I don't know how many podcasts now. I loved it.
Just hit us with all of it. Whatever you want to hit us with, go
First
for it.
episode made me bawl my eyes out. I was like, really? They're gonna do this to me? First episode with Frigga and
With these mom,
that
yeah.
whole story. And then Loki like watching himself die and everything. I was like, okay, we're going there. And then I also liked in the first episode how it actually it said Doctor Strange's name in it, just different. It said multiverse and then everything will go into madness. So I was like, oh, that's cool. There's that little Easter egg for you. And then I like that we learned with this last episode that she's Sylvie. So I'm interested to see. I don't know much about the character, just a little bit. So I'm interested to see, I guess, Marvel's take on Sylvie. I mean, we know that she's a variant of Loki, but we also know that Loki was gender fluid. So my thoughts were, oh well, he can be a female or a male, but she's just altogether like I'm just a different person. So.
Well, I mean,
And
I
favorite-
read a little bit about it, and she actually is a different person that was enchanted with the powers of Loki.
Right.
So I don't know.
And that's what I'm saying
that's
with
where we're
Marvel's
going or
take.
not.
Right. Is
Yeah.
to see if Marvel keeps her as a variant or if we're going to get the actual story of who she is in the comics.
if we're going back on some of the other episodes, since I wasn't here too, all I want to say, one of my other big complaints, again, I like it. It's good.
For somebody that really likes it, they keep saying they really like it, and then I say,
Do you-
man, I got
do you-
so many things wrong.
Well, would this be a great podcast if I just got on here and go, man, it was awesome. See you later. Is that what y'all want? I'll do
have
that.
you ever watched
No.
New Rockstars? It's always great.
Okay. Here's the deal, though. It is funny, though, in the TVA, it's all humans. Where's the other aliens? Where's the other species? This
But
giant,
we don't know that they're humans. We just think that they were created by the three lizard gods.
Again, it's like you have this whole world to draw upon, this whole universe. This thing is guarding the universe's time. You would think there would be other, and again, this is what Star Wars captured so well. George Lucas it just was this diverse thing, and there's so many different types of things going on. Now, I'm okay if you go, we didn't have the budget, it's just easier to throw humans. Cool, get it. All I'm saying is, I think that would have made it better. It just makes it more diverse, but that's it.
It's
I
not
digress.
over yet. It's only the third episode.
We know they're all variants.
Listen, I'm the one who is telling y'all about this. I've been excited. I like it.
I'm just telling you.
It sounds to me like you don't like it at all.
I know.
Well,
Like
you want to
Loki.
talk about The Last Jedi, and we'll talk about something I
Oh,
don't
no.
like.
We'll
Don't drag me down that road.
Or we could talk about Kathleen Kennedy.
I didn't get to say my favorite quote from the last Loki episode.
Okay, go for it.
Love is
What
a
is-
dagger.
Love is a dagger.
I want to get that tattooed. now.
I can't
Love is a
say his
dagger.
because I can't remember what all he says, but his was hilarious though.
Yeah. That's what he said. Love is a dagger, and then goes into the whole this is why it is a dagger. And I was like,
Yeah.
yes, buddy.
And she goes, that's
yes."
stupid, or whatever.
You need to get the whole quote though, Bonnie. Not just love
Yeah,
as a
it's
dagger.
gotta
Do the
be-
whole
What about
quote.
It's the
Love
whole
is-
thing is what
Love
it
is a dagger.
Just do it as a full piece on your back, just like the
Yeah.
scrolling Star Wars script, just right up your back.
Yeah. Be good.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was as good as some of the first ones, but
Right.
but I enjoyed it. I liked it. I like her character. What?
Yeah. It's needed though. I think
Yes.
so. You need it. You need it
Yeah.
to understand better. I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like,
didn't have an issue with it.
Did you guys ever see like some of the theories that Black Widow was going to be in Loki because it looked like they were on wherever it's Volmir, what's it called? Whatever planet she died on, and they were like, oh, that looks like her, so we might get I think it was actually Sylvie, the back of Sylvie's. It was in one of Loki's trailers.
I guess I missed that.
I'd be okay
There was,
if it was
breakdown
like
about it.
I'd be okay if it was an Easter egg, but if they bring
It's
her back,
not.
I'm
It's Sylvie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. Like, it threw me
Gotcha.
off because I was like, oh, maybe we'll get to see Scarlett Johansson. It kind of looks like the back of her. And no,
Yeah.
Sylvie
Well,
was
one
not
of the
like
little time things that they put down was in Volmir, whatever you're talking about. It was
Boromir, there we go.
Yep.
Yes. Well, in one of the Loki trailers, I remember watching one of the breakdowns. It showed like a shot that looked like Boromir, and it looked like Black Widow was sitting on a rock, but it was like we were seeing the back of her from kind of a distance. And so, but now that I see what this other girl looks like, I'm like, yeah, that they were trolling us.
It's probably probably
Mhm.
our wild
Like,
imagination.
we're gonna really give these geeks something to theorize.
They should have given us Mephisto. They should have just done it. They should have
We're not
edited
going to.
after.
Oh my gosh! About Mephisto. So I was in San Antonio, right? No, Corpus Christi, and I come across this comic book store. I go in, and I was like, "Hey, I like comics." And this dude was like, "Hey, I've got the Silver Surfer #3."
Is
I was
that how
like-
it really went?
No.
Hey.
And I was like,
oh my God.
"Okay, hold on. I've got to ask my husband because he was like, $450, but I might give it to you for $400." I was like, "Okay, let's see what it looks like." And then my husband was like, "Yeah, you can get it." And then the dude was like, "I sold it."
How long did it take you to talk to your husband?
A while, because I was in the comic book store like 30 minutes. And then
He
the dude
sold
was
it that
like,
fast?
"Yeah, I sold it." I was like,
Dude.
"What?" I was so excited.
Was it graded? What kind of shape was it in for 400?
It wasn't graded, and I don't know the shape because, and that was the thing. I was like, you have to bring it up here so I can see it before I purchase it. But it was a pretty good. I mean, even like really good copies are like thousands of dollars right now. So, yeah, I was pretty.
It's a bummer.
Man.
I was pretty not
That's a
happy
bummer.
about that.
I don't know why you wouldn't have held it for you while you were talking to your husband.
Well, I think you just. I don't know. I don't freaking know.
Two
But
thumbs down. You need to give them a Yelp review and just give them a 0.
I probably
Sold
should,
it
but
out from under me.
funny thing was the store owner's name was the same name as my friend who we were visiting, so we took a card. So it was his name. First
Nice.
and last. It's funny.
Like the exact same?
Exact same.
Wow.
Crazy.
Still,
That's why I was
didn't
like, oh, this is meant to be. And I'm like, wah, wah.
And then he sold it out from under you.
You went and saw the wrong person.
I did. So now I'm like, you're not going to find that kind of comic book for $400 now.
Probably not.
Anyways.
Well, your husband
story.
already said yes, so just go on eBay and order you one.
No, I'm not. No, I got to
It's
see
different.
it. I got to see it first.
Okay, so I'm here. What did you think of Loki? Did you get to talk about it? I don't remember.
Briefly. I enjoyed it. It was the slowest of the 3 episodes for me. But it fit. It was a filler, and they needed the filling. Like we needed to know her backstory, and I really
You need
like
to be
their
double stuffed. I get it.
100%. You can never have enough double stuffing ever. No, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And I like her character, and I like their interactions. I'm really excited to see where it goes because, like Joker said, it left us on a big cliffhanger. And I'm really interested to see where it goes from here because I mean they really made it look like there's no way out of this. So obviously there is a way. I'm just ready to see how they do it. So it was good. I enjoyed, and I'm really liking this series. I like the feel of it. I like the pacing. Even if this was a little slow, I really enjoyed the dialogue. I think it's a really well done series.
What's y'all's consensus on this being a more bigger, a better setup? I can't talk today. A better setup for WandaVision. Not WandaVision. Doctor Strange.
I mean, 100%.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I
it
mean,
actually felt like it was a connector.
Yeah.
Like, do you
Well, I
think
mean,
that the ending of this is going to blast off into that type deal? Like, we're going to see the timeline unwind?
I mean,
think
honestly,
we already saw it.
yeah.
Or
yeah.
messing up.
I don't know. Yeah, I
No,
don't
I know
know
it
how.
can happen, but do you think that's how, like, it's going to start?
I think it's
No,
already happened.
I think it already happened. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. When she dropped the bombs and the timeline did the crazy spider web thing, that's the start right there.
Yeah.
I
You can't,
I guess
you
we'll
can't
I think
un-F
it was-
this timeline.
I think what's going to happen.
They
My
have
bold
it.
predict.
They
My
have.
bold. Yeah, they showed she dropped in all the
Yes.
little time things in the
Yeah, and it showed
all
like
the
on
little
the screen
fingers
this-
going everywhere. Yeah.
Right.
Do
But
even
we
Loki?
don't know how it is right now because we were watching. Loki
okay,
Yes, we do.
so-
it's
Hold on.
screwed.
Well,
It's not
necess-
totally screwed
No,
yet.
because the agents were all going to fix it. Because all that was a distraction for her to go get to the bosses, right?
timekeepers.
To get to the man behind the curtain, right? Which this whole
Yes.
this whole show is a big switcheroo. I mean, she's the hero with Loki. The villains are the timekeepers. I mean, that's what we're all leading up to. But I don't know if that was necessarily the event that's going to play out in Marvel. I think this is just introducing us to the new time concepts because they had to rewrite the way time works with Loki versus the way it worked in the movies. They had to
They've turned it into Back to the Future.
I mean, a little bit with the way they've kind of changed the way time works, which is fine. I'm okay with the revamp to fix it. That's okay to going forward.
Change.
But all that to be said is Loki. I think this is just setting up the concepts of time, how it's going to work, and I do think though with the end of the TVA, that is going to lead to something else. I personally think on episode 1 when they talked about the chaos in the timeline, right?
Where it's all wrapped up, yeah.
I believe that was maybe, and I might be wrong, but I felt like that was kind of a nod to what is going to happen with Marvel, even though they talked like it had already happened. Time's different, right? Like I almost think that was the event, right? But who knows? We'll see how they play that out. But I thought it was cool.
Shane, at 8:39 on June 24, 2021, I agree with you that I believe that was the start of it happening.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's
It's
been
flying right now.
I feel like there's been a total shift in
Did
And on
hell
eight-
freeze over? Did hell
I-
just freeze over?
I legitimately think it did.
I think it did
So-
too. I'm going ice
It's not
skating.
hot. It's not hot in hell anymore, guys. It's cold. I mean, look. I mean, obviously, if she kills the timekeepers, that's going to have a huge impact on the timeline. But they pretty clearly showed us. If you look at the first episode, they showed exactly that graph when the times just split. I mean, the way they made it seem is like she created a major catastrophe, and I don't think that would be that fixable. Because it's not that big of a deal if they could just send the timekeepers in and fix it real quick. Then all that work she did is for nothing.
Yeah,
They don't send the timekeepers; they send the Minutemen. She's trying to distract the Minutemen
Same
to
difference.
go to the timekeepers.
Same
would-
difference.
My bold prediction is
I'm with
that
Bonnie.
they get all these. They're going to get all these little fingers of time fixed, but they're going to miss one somehow,
Well, and you got to
and then it's
remember.
going to just warp out of control.
You got to remember, there's already a season 2 that's being wrote, so it's not going to get. I don't know. You could speculate how resolved everything really is going to get because there is going to be a second season. So however that looks, whether that is Loki and girl Loki taking over the TVA to go hunt down the timekeepers after they escape or what, I don't know. I just don't think the timekeepers are going to completely go unless the big bad's somebody else in the series, which I've
Well,
heard
and
that King the Conqueror is going to make.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
appearances.
say. Is there's a theory that whenever you watch the credits or whatever, at the end it shows like the guy in the middle, and it looks kind of like a split between one of the timekeepers and King the Conqueror.
Well,
And
and
We
in,
know that he's going to be the villain in.
and in the comics, she had the girl that's like that
Sylvie?
just under that's. No, that's
Oh
under
no,
the
the one just
timekeepers.
okay. What
The
was
judge.
She's a love interest with
Yeah.
King the Conqueror. So
Oh,
yeah, so there's going to be some play, I think, there too.
that's interesting.
That is. Okay.
I mean, we're halfway. We'll know in 3 weeks. So,
Well, that's like such a
Yeah,
short
it's
season.
coming up fast.
I mean, it's almost
By the
over.
way, I
already.
started Rebels, and it's great. I'm already on season 2.
Oh, Bonnie.
Nice. It's so
My
good.
soul. My soul. You're just. That's
The later
so good.
seasons, the later seasons of that are some of the best Star Wars.
Again,
That's what.
And listen, I'm talking as a whole
See.
book. Rebels is my favorite, man. It's just my
Rebels is
favorite.
really good.
Because isn't Ezra
Really
your
good.
favorite or something like that?
Ezra's one of my favorites.
He's a big
Kanan's
fan
my
of the-
favorite.
He's a big fan of the lightsaber blaster.
I like Kanan and Hera. I think.
He
I like
worst
Ezra.
lightsaber Star Wars.
I think
and
they're a
for-
couple.
It's versatile.
Which
It's
I
so
think, I
dumb.
think they are a couple.
It just looks stupid. Like I love the show, but
I
it
don't-
just drives
I
me
don't-
nuts.
What
and I
looks stupid?
honestly don't really care
His,
that
his little
much.
lightsaber blaster. It's the one thing I hate about that show. I hate it.
I guess I
She
didn't
just
even
started
notice
it.
So it's. I haven't come across it yet.
I just watch.
Yeah, he'll eventually.
I'm on
You're gonna
season
see it.
two.
You can't miss the dumb thing. Trust me.
You're on season 2.
You should have seen it by
That-
Yeah,
then.
he has it.
Seen it.
He has.
Yeah.
He adds on his lightsaber. It has an attachment where he can shoot with it.
He has a blaster on his lightsaber.
Is this
You haven't seen
Ezra?
Yes.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I've gotten that far yet.
But it makes
you-
it bigger.
Or if
and
I
more
did, I wasn't
clunky.
paying attention. This is one of those shows that I'm gonna
Apparently, it
have to
didn't
watch
hurt
again
her at all.
because I'm watching it while I work, and like I have to turn it off because I'm
Oh.
like, these are important parts.
Oh, just wait, Bonnie. Just
It's,
wait.
as you get going, you're going to need to pay attention because it's
For
Yeah.
sure.
No, I'm,
It gets-
that's
there's
why
lots of
I'm
little
saying like
things.
I have to rewatch and rewatch and rewatch.
I'm telling you, you're
I'll
gonna.
catch it all.
It's gonna be your new favorite over Clone Wars. I'm telling you.
I like it so. Well, I couldn't get into Clone Wars, but I'm speeding through this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I've been impressed.
It's definitely good. Okay, guys. I love all you guys. I'm late. I'm glad you jumped in
So
I
sorry.
am too.
for this.
Even though I know we're not going to talk about Bad Batch,
That's
y'all not finna let me jump off here without saying one thing.
Okay, go for it.
That's
My boy
right.
Cad Bane showed up on Bad
Yeah.
Batch.
Yeah.
So good.
That's all
That
I'm-
was
did.
that was a big surprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not. I expected it was. What's her name?
I did.
I thought she was gonna get the kid.
I,
I can't. I don't remember what her name is.
I-
Finnick.
I,
Finnick. Something. Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
don't.
What were you saying?
I don't know how I feel yet. Like,
I think I'm back.
well, let's,
Are you going to be negative?
My phone is so
Well, I
small,
love
can't-
this.
I can barely.
By the way,
but it doesn't look.
okay,
like
you know
it.
what? I'll just. Hey, I love it. It's great, guys.
No, I want to hear. I want
I want to hear your
to
opinion. I don't. As I'm saying this, I'm
gotta bring this up
processing
big.
through all this, but I don't.
Can we do a side by side?
It's really interesting. There's a mod's face. It's really interesting. Dave Filoni. I know. Don't want to say anything negative on Dave Filoni, but just the writing style. Again, we got another story with a young person with these older people. I mean, this was kind of Rebels, right? This was Mandalorian, and I'm not saying it's bad.
You're saying it's bad. I mean, don't say you're not saying it's bad. You're saying it's bad. It's literally what you just said.
I am hesitant. It may
If you
honestly
speak
it makes.
it'll be true.
Well, no. Here's the deal. I'm getting on a place with Bad Batch where it's just kind of it's lulling for me a little bit. Like I enjoy it because it's new Star Wars, right? And I enjoy new Star Wars, but it's just like I don't know. I'm waiting for the next to make it feel different.
It sounds to me like you think Kathleen Kennedy should have been the executive producer.
Well, it goes back to that conversation we had. Like, are we?
Does
doing-
nobody think there's any similarities?
Well, there's
I
no
think-
doubt there's
no,
similarities.
Okay.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm
Okay.
saying it goes back to the conversation that we've had. Are we giving Dave Filoni a pass? Because his trope is a good episode, a filler, a great episode, a filler. And so it's like it's just like little instead of making these long drawn out seasons, give us a shortened season with just the meat.
Yeah.
But
Like Marvel's doing.
I don't know. It's almost like, and again, I know this isn't what Bad Batch was going to be, but it's almost like Bad Batch without the kid in it could have been a little bit more gritty, and it would have been a different type of story. You know what I mean? We
Would've been
could
a different
we could have
show.
we could have explored something a little different in Star Wars than a group or a person taking a younger person under their wing, guiding them, helping them, which again is
That's what Star Wars is about.
I was about to say, yeah,
no. Star Wars is so many things, right? Star Wars is a whole galaxy of things out there that's going on, and I just think that there is more out there to explore, story-wise. And I always go back to the story. That's my number one thing. Like, let's talk about the story. Is it the most engaging story? Are you hearing the same thing you've heard? I'm not saying it's not entertaining. I'm not saying you don't like it. I do. I like candy. I eat candy all the time, right? But I'm just like, is there another story out there that we can tell? That's it. That's good.
Let's put a pin in that because we could definitely use that as a topic.
Yeah. Let's come back to this one because I have thoughts on thoughts on it.
And I can be swayed. I'm just telling. I'm processing through this. I don't know.
Rebels started slow. We have Rebels started slow. Like, season 1, season 2.
It did.
It started slow.
And agreed. If you just watch season 1 of Rebels, you'll be like,
it wasn't very good.
Once you hit season 2, it's like, okay. And by season 3, you're like, this is awesome. And at the end, you're just like,
some of the best stuff, period, in Star Wars. Some of the best. So I'm kind of with you. Like, it's kind of like the Clone Wars. You got great episodes, you got slow episodes. It's a cartoon. Like, there's not a lot of cartoons that have like a 20 episode season that's just straight heat. Like, there's not a lot of that out there.
And I think Clone Wars did this a little bit more, right? So give Dave Filoni some credit, like
quite a bit more.
Where it did completely different stuff, right?
Yes.
One second we're with Padme, great. 1 second we're with, we're talking about.
Don't come after Padme, even in cartoon form. Just don't.
1 second we're going deep into lore of the Jedi, and then the next second we're going into the baking system of the galaxy, right? So it really built on what is really going on in this whole world. It's a world building series. Good series. I enjoyed the end of it a lot more because it kind of focused in and did that really well. But that's why I like Rebels. It focuses in some people and it goes the whole time with them. But it does feel like a Mando.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's wrong. I don't know. I don't know. It does feel like Mando.
I think we're still early. Right. I'm curious to see where he goes with the series.
Agreed.
So,
see, we're doing just like Loki, leaving you on a cliffhanger.
100%.
Love you guys. Love all you out there that's hanging with us. Yeah. Be sure to drop some comments. We'll talk with you, and we'll see you next week.
See you
next Thursday. We'll end with a little bit of music. See if we can get DCMA on here.
Most likely.
Most likely. And we're out. Love you guys.